If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
Go back. Way back. Back into time.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, as you can tell, I've seen The Batman. My favorite fucking thing in the whole movie. For multiple reasons. If you know anything about me, which you probably don't, or if you're one of my friends, then you probably know a very farewell amount of... What am I saying? If you're one of my friends, you know me. You know that I like a good villain when it comes to my superhero shit. I'm a huge dork, as you can see. And I like solid villains, you know, like a villain that you know does villainous shit, but like some of the stuff they do is for their own like personal what they believe is right, you know. And the Riddler did a really good job at blurring the line between good and evil, right? This is obviously spoiler movie review. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do. But the thing is, okay, so the thing about this movie is, if you're not a hardcore Batman fan, there's two things that might come out of it. One, you might kind of enjoy it for just what it is, you know, vigilante, dark superhero movie. He's not even really a superhero. So it's more of like just a hero comic book type movie, like slow paced, detective style thriller, psychological thriller. That's what I would give this movie. But if you are a hardcore Batman fan, then you would know that this movie was fucking epic. Like, I love the Christopher Nolan trilogy. I love Christian Bale's Batman. I enjoyed Ben Affleck Batman. I did watch the Michael Keaton ones, and honestly, I barely remember the Val Kilmer or George Clooney Batmans, but Michael Keaton Batman was pretty legit. I haven't seen the Michael Keaton Batman in like a really long time, but considering that was in like the 80s and stuff, I figured there wasn't much that they could do back then. But with the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, those are more legit. There was more of a like a base where you can build up the character and then have him go through shit, and then Dark Knight Rises, he has his ultimate challenge. But my whole thing with the Christopher Nolan trilogy is like, we never got to see Batman fuck dudes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his whole fucking thing. He's a martial, and like, yeah, there's fight scenes, and yeah, some of them are cool, but like, if you really look back at the Christopher Nolan trilogy, the most Batman-esque stuff we got from that was like kind of like in the Batman Begins movie, he's very like, you know, like dark and mysterious, and like nobody knows who he is, so it's like the criminals are like, what the fuck is going on, blah blah, and you kind of get some of that, but not as much. Like, I'm talking Arkham fucking style fighting. Like, I played the Batman Arkham games. That's kind of like my whole first memory of Batman. So whenever I think of Batman, I think of Batman Arkham, the Arkham series. But obviously I don't fucking draw all my attention to that. Like, everything Batman related has to be like the Arkham games. Like, no, not at all. But when it came to those games, that nailed Batman. Like, the scariness of him being in the shadows and not knowing like where the fuck he is and shit. And then with the fighting, like, you do not want to go up against this dude. Like, you're gonna get fucked up. So this movie, The Batman, did a really good job of nailing both of those, because for the first like fucking 10-15 minutes of the movie, the bat signal goes into the air, and there's like different criminals doing different shit, and Batman's narrating, saying like, you know, he can't be everywhere at once, but the criminals don't know that. So whenever they see the shadows and shit, they like start freaking out. And then when he does come across actual criminals, what's up, buddy? It's Titan. Yeah, so when he does come across criminals, they're fucking like, who the fuck is this guy? Ha ha ha, like laughing and shit, and he's just like, fucking, like, yes, that's what I want. Oh god, I got you excited. That's what I wanted from Batman, and I just didn't get that from the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Like, I know I might get bashed. If that's your favorite Batman, that's fine. Robert Pattinson is definitely my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck Batman was also pretty legit. He kinda was my favorite before this one, but the only reason why I couldn't give him like my ultimate favorite top spot as Batman is because of the fact that we only got to see Ben Affleck Batman in like one movie, really. Like, I saw the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that, I mean, you know, that was good as fuck, but Batfleck wasn't really doing much in that as far as, you know, action and Batman shit goes. Like, he was mainly recruiting the rest of the Justice League with Wonder Woman and shit. So I don't know, I didn't really get a Batman vibe from that movie. And then with Batman vs Superman, the fucking warehouse, bro, the warehouse scene, that is probably, not only is that one of my favorite action scenes ever, but it's one of the best Batman action scenes ever. Like that was the kind of fighting I want Batman to do, and we only got to see him do that in Batman vs Superman. Whereas in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, again, he's fighting, but it's just like weird fighting. Like the criminals will like swing at him, and then Batman will like use his elbows and then do this and then like that, and then like he'll do some kicks and he'll like, I don't know, it's just weird. If you look, if you, I swear, just take the time and look back at the Christopher Nolan trilogy, all the Batman fighting scenes. It's just kind of the same thing. It's the same flow. They last like 1 minute, not even. They last like 20, 30 seconds. So they're really short-lived. And again, you don't really get to see much. Whereas in the Batman, you get to see fucking wide angles of this dude fucking grabbing one dude, getting hit from behind, and then like kicking him while throwing the other into another. And then like one dude had a baseball bat, he fucking grabbed it, did some Arkham shit and hit him with it, hit him in the head, and threw it at another dude. Like, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, bro. I'm sorry, I'm just a huge fucking dork with the Batman. Like that. As far as DC goes, never really cared for it. It's good. What's wrong? Shh. Never really cared for it, but Batman was always my shit, right? And then obviously after learning about Batman, I learned about Superman and Wonder Woman and all of them. So I was like, all right, bet, you know, DC's legit. Marvel is my main thing. Marvel all day, for fucking sure. But as far as DC goes, Batman is like my number one jam. This was a really good movie, man. Like it's long. It's really long. I've seen it twice so far. First time I watched it, I kind of high-key started falling asleep towards the end, but that's only because I had just came back from Okeechobee. Shout out Okeechobee. Ooh, shout out the Rave fam. I just came back from Okie, so literally me and Anthony, my boy Anthony, went to go see it the day of us coming back from Okie, and it just, yeah, there was no way we were gonna be able to stay away for that shit. It was really long, but I remember, you know how sometimes when you're like asleep, when you're like falling asleep and you're kind of like half awake, half asleep, you can still hear shit around you? It was like that. So I was able to pick up some of the stuff happening while I was like nodding off. But the second time I watched it, awake through the whole thing, caught every single detail I missed the first time watching it. And it's really fucking crazy how well the movie flows. Like, if you really pay attention from the beginning to end, like, everything's kind of happened consistently. Everything is kind of like from the first victim that the Riddler murders, which is the mayor, to like the Batman finding, like going there to the crime scene and finding the clues and shit, and then he goes to investigate the clues, and then, you know, the pictures of the chick get released, and then the chick in the pictures with the mayor happens to be Catwoman's girlfriend, so that's how she gets included. And then they go to fucking meet Batman sees Catwoman stealing the passport for the chick, and then they come in. It flows. It's really weird. Not weird, but like it's cool weird. It's a good weird as to how good it flowed. And then you have the fact that the Riddler's plan, like, first time watching it, I didn't really quite understand what was happening. Second time watching it, I was like, okay, now I get it. So Riddler is basically taking down like the majority of the corrupt dudes in Gotham. Again, did a really good job of blurring the line between good and evil, because the Riddler's crazy as fuck. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely like Zodiac killer / fucking Jigsaw had a baby. He's doing shit to corrupt people, shit that had it coming to them, if you will. And what I liked about the Batman, what I liked about Bruce Wayne and Batman in general, like, first of all, this is a Batman movie, so like Bruce Wayne felt very secondary, which I enjoyed. I kind of we haven't really seen anything like that as far as maybe like the Spider-Man movies, but not even that. Like, I think the Batman just nailed it at having it just be a Batman story and like Bruce Wayne be like a secondary character. But as far as like Riddler's plan and everything goes, like it did go from like a very neo-noir detective kind of movie to the finale being like this over-the-top, you know, superhero shit. But at the same time, you get the sense that there are definite consequences to running around doing whatever it is you think you can do as a masked vigilante, which I enjoyed. The Riddler was always someone that I saw as a legit threat. Like, if you actually gave him the right kind of motive and tools and whatnot, like, the Riddler can be a fucked up villain. And this is exactly what I was hoping for when it came to his performance. Paul Dano, fucking legit, bro. I loved you in Prisoners. You should watch that. Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal. That's a really good movie. But basically, yeah, the Batman, I fucking loved it. I loved it so much. What else can I say about it before I go? Nice pacing, right? Even though it was 3 hours, it didn't even really feel like 3 hours, if I'm being honest. Just how the movie flowed. I like the detective part of the shit. That's always what I wanted to see in Batman. Never really got that in Christopher. We got some detective stuff during The Dark Knight, yes. Dark Knight Rises, not so much. Dark Knight Rises felt more of like an endgame kind of thing with Batman, because Gotham was taken over by Bane, so Batman has to like redeem himself and heal and come back and fight and blah blah. So you don't really get the sense of the Batman in the original trilogies, except for The Dark Knight. That was probably the most Batman. That's why a lot of people fucked with The Dark Knight, because then also you have Joker, who's, you know, I love that one line that he says in the movie, is like, when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Like, unstoppable being Joker, immovable being Batman. That's a really good duo. That's a really good solid hero versus villain story. This, on the other hand, same thing, very solid hero versus villain. But you also get the sense that the Riddler isn't necessarily a bad guy, he's just doing bad shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for sure. But when you finally get him and Batman into the same room together and they interrogate and Batman's talking to him and shit, the Riddler has a really solid point. Like, basically when Thomas Wayne, Batman / Bruce Wayne's dad, is running for mayor, he kind of had like this focus on wanting to bring to the light the orphanages and the poor people and all this, and you know, the funding, that there was like a bank account or something that had billions of dollars in it, and that's kind of like the whole thing that causes the corruption and shit after the Waynes die. When they died, because of Falcone, by the way, which that was something else I got during my second time watching the movie. Like, I picked up on other shit that I didn't realize, but basically Carmine Falcone got Bruce Wayne's parents killed because Thomas Wayne threatened Carmine that he was gonna rat about Carmine killing the reporter, who was also, it's a lot, trust me, it's a lot, but like, I pay attention to shit like this because it's the Batman, that's my fucking dude. So if it's your movie and I fuck with you and all that, I'm gonna pay attention. So there's a lot, but basically, yeah, just a really, really cool, intricate, fucking corrupt in Gotham kind of storyline. Batman figuring all this shit out. Like, I imagine, because it's been 2 years, when the movie starts, it's 2 years after he's been Batman. So I imagine before this, he's just been taking out like thugs and petty criminals and all this shit. And now is the first case / villain that he comes across that there's a whole layer of shit that he had no idea was happening. And so the way the movie ends with Riddler flooding Gotham, basically, there's so much more that could happen in the next movie. I feel like so many villains can try to take over, and there could be like a huge power grab. The fucking National Guard are coming in. I imagine that other governments and military and shit outside of Gotham definitely think Batman's a freak. So I'd love to see more of that. And that was something else I enjoyed, was that like people were like not sure of the Batman. So when at the end when he rescues them with the flare and is leading them on and stuff, like they were very hesitant. But then the little boy like took his hand and went with him, and then everybody else followed. And I was like, this is fucking legit, because if you really think about it, like in a real life scenario, you have a guy running around in a bat costume, like, yeah, he's fucking up criminals, he's not really doing anything to innocent people or nothing, but like he's still weird. Like he's dressed as a bat and he's flying around and shit and weird shit. And now the city wants to give him a signal, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. It's a weird concept, and this movie did a good job at like understanding that. But towards the end, the people of Gotham accept Batman, or at least that's what it seems like to me. So it's good. It's good, man. It's really fucking good. I have no other way to say it. How would I rate it? I would rate it, I think I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. The one credit missing is probably there was, like, all the action in the movie they showed in the trailers. And I tried to stay away from the trailers and TV spots, but they were just like popping up on my screen and shit. So all the action that's in the movie is pretty much in the trailers and stuff, so there's no like real new scenes. Some scenes weren't shown, some action scenes were extended a bit. Do I wish there were more? Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I came, was because I was trying to see Batman fuck dudes up, and he does. Trust me, he does. Beginning of the movie for sure, towards the middle absolutely, and then towards the end there's a couple fight scenes, but like the movie's so long and so spread out that, you know, the action scenes fit in at the right times when they need to, but then you also can go like a full 30 minutes without nothing, and it's, I mean, not nothing, you know, it's the story and exposition and you know, solving shit and all that, but like after that you kind of lose track of the kind of movie you're watching, and then all of a sudden some shit happens and you're just like, oh shit, okay, here we go. So I don't mind that though. It like I said, it was a good pace, it was a good flow. It's good. It's a really good movie. So yeah, that was my review. If you sat through it, this is for you. And yeah, peace out, homies.